Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to yet again another fantastic indie creator interview. It is your Capes Crusader, Cody, and we are keeping it geekly with our returning friend, Silent P. We're here to break down Space Crush and everything in between. But holy crap, how's it been? It's been quite a bit of time, a couple months. Yeah. But in terms of like interviews, it feels like it's been like a year or two. Holy crap, man.
Yeah, man, you've done and grown quite a lot since then, man. But I'm happy to be back with you for this second interview. I'm glad I got something else for you and for the people that I want to get out there.
Yeah, and I had the opportunity to read chapter 4. Before you even send it out to the public, thank you so much for that opportunity. And I just remember seeing it and being like, holy crap, like you've really put some work into the art and design. Like it feels like you've maybe like learned some new techniques, or like, you know, what have you done differently or learned since we last talked?
I think I got better with using Clip Studio. So like the third chapter was the first digital. And so from that chapter I learned a lot. So I had a little like, from that chapter it was mostly just learning how the software works and how to set up panels and all that. But this chapter I learned a lot from that chapter that when I did this chapter I can focus on like making my art better, because I learned some different techniques and tools on the program. So I really like every chapter I do, I try to make it better than the last artistically. I try to push myself to make better work. So I'm glad that you kind of take notice to that, because I really put in a lot of effort to like make my work better than the last one. So.
No, without a doubt, and I think it really does show. And before we really dive into anything too deep, first and foremost, let's give a nice like refresher on who you are. And things that you've worked on, anything, short stories or Space Crush, anything in between.
Yeah, my name's Silent P. That's what I go by on the internets. I'm a writer and illustrator of webcomic Space Crush. It's a sci-fi action adventure, kind of a comedy series that I try to consistently put out. It's totally free, and it's basically a short story about well, not technically a short story, but a story about a bounty hunter in the year 5999 that is trying to uncover the secrets of his mother that went missing 12 years ago. So you just follow them along. So I did 3 chapters of that last year, and this year I've been able to put out 1 chapter. I hope in the future to put out more chapters per year, and I'm also working on a one-shot called My Extra Dimensional Side Hustle. And you can get all this on Twitter, has all the information from my website where you can be able to read those.
So give us a little bit about the other chapters. I mean, we're going to be taking a little bit deeper look at chapter 4, but like leading up to chapter 4, can you tell us a little bit about what happened? And feel free to spoil as much as you want, or if you don't want to, you can kind of like just walk around what you don't want to spoil.
Oh yeah, it's fine, man. I just want to pique people's interest and make them go look, because you miss so much besides just like the little bits and pieces of the story I can tell. So basically Space Crush starts off in the year 5999. You have these 2 bounty hunters named Micho and Neko Steel. Micho goes by an alias that many bounty hunters use the aliases in this world, and it's Space Crush. So that's where you pretty much get your title from. So it starts off with they are trying to catch these 2 wanted criminals that have been conducting heists around the city. So they've been stealing this stuff called meta. And in the Space Crush universe, meta is a substance, like an energy source that is pretty much like fossil fuels are today. Like they power everything, but it's much better. Like you get space travel, to power vehicles that can fly, like all types of stuff. Meta also has a special effects on humans where it changes them into mutants and they develop special powers when exposed to it. So following these two bounty hunters that are looking for the criminals known as Eraser and Mantis. So early in the chapter, they confront those two. They have a little uh, battle with both of those um, people, and pretty much one gets away and they capture one. Just before that one person perishes, I'm not gonna say how. They reveal that they're actually working for a bigger criminal known as the Insect King. And instantly, Micho and Neko recognize that name because he's a international criminal that is wanted. What is he wanted for? He's wanted for the disappearance of our main character, Space Crusher's mother.
Ooh.
So this is pretty much what takes place in the first chapter. Once that happens, there's like we got to track down this other guy to see what's going on. We got to dig deeper in this. So in order to do that, we got to find the other guy that got away. So they look for the other guy, Eraser, and pretty much that chapter concludes with them kind of capturing him, but and questioning him about the Insect King, and he kind of looks crazy at the end of that one. So going on into what pretty much happens in 2 and 3, I'm not gonna reveal too much about those, but basically they're gonna be working with this guy to find the Insect King, Eraser, and that kind of leads us into chapter 4 about what's going on. And just to give you an idea of what chapter 4 is at, they make an alliance with Eraser, but Eraser had a secret that he did not tell them, and that's that he has a family and that he has been doing crimes pretty much to try and feed his family.
The plot thickens, right?
Yeah, he goes to see his family, just trying to visit them, but he doesn't tell Micho and Neko. So they wake up and he's just missing. So they go to try and find him, and they were able to track him because he took one of their vehicles, and all their vehicles had trackers on them. So they were able to find him. But when they do find him, 2 other mysterious figures show up, and they're there to pretty much off Eraser for joining up with the bounty hunters. And at that point, Micho and Neko step in to face these 2 off to let Eraser get away with his family. And that's pretty much where you're going to be starting at with chapter 4, where I'm at now.
I love just how many different layers this story has to it. What sort of influences did you draw from when, creating this?
Oh man, it's some of everything. I like to call it like a Crunchyroll of like everything that I've loved and watched growing up. So it's got a little artistically Akira Toriyama Dragon Ball influence from the art style.
I had to wear my Goku shirt tonight.
Oh, okay. I appreciate that, man. That's the GOAT right there. So yeah, you'll definitely see Akira Toriyama influences in like the stuff I did stylistically with the art. Story wise, I like to say that this story is Cowboy Bebop meets X-Men a little bit. So like if Cowboy Bebop had superhumans, like that's kind of what this is. Comedic wise, and like the sci-fi element, Men in Black, Blade Runner. It's so many different things. Like
naming off nothing but gold there, man. Nothing but gold for real, man. So was this your first venture into creating web comics?
Yeah, pretty much. So I grew up as a kid. Like I've been making like my own little homemade comics since like as early as I can remember. Like I used to get school paper and fold it in half and put paper clips on it and draw out little stories, which were pretty much like if I tried to sell them, like I would have got sued by Akira Toriyama because they were just Dragon Ball ripoffs. To like in high school, like I used to come up with some stories and draw them, but like I kept it all to myself. I wasn't, I didn't know what to do with it, and I didn't have the resources to be able to put it on the computer back then, just because technology was a little bit older, and just like not having that know-how or always having the computer with internet. So this is my first time actually just fully going through with it, and just doing it, because I was just like, I started in 2020 and I always had an excuse like, oh, I got to get better at drawing backgrounds. Oh, I got to get the story just right. And I finally just said, I'm going to just do it the best way I could. So like I drew it on paper. The first chapter is done completely traditional, and I completed it all just traditional on paper. And then I got my printer and I scanned them in, and I got Clip Studio for Christmas in 2020. And early 2021, I started editing the traditional pictures and finishing up chapter 1 to get ready. Then I purchased a website space on Ghost, where I post my chapters now, and I uploaded the first chapter. And while I was doing all that, I was working on chapter 2. So I did chapter 2 all traditional too. So by the time I uploaded chapter 1, I was pretty much done with chapter 2. So I think like the next month I uploaded chapter 2.
Okay, putting that work in, man.
Yeah, I went hard at the end of last year, because it's a lot of work and it takes a lot of time. So like at that point, I was comfortable enough on Clip Studio that I was like, I could probably do all digital with the next chapter. So I did that, and it took me a little bit longer, but I got it done by December of last year. So the beginning of this year, I took like a little hiatus because I was kind of burnt out. I was like, okay, I got these 3 chapters out. I'm gonna sit on this for a while and promote. Like, so that was something I realized too, is like, I'm making all these chapters, but I need to get better at promoting it on social media. So that's when I kind of reached out to you and met you. And I was really just trying to say, hey, I got these 3 chapters I did, and just trying to, get it out there. So I kind of worked on that. Then I started working on chapter 4. So I finished chapter 4 this past July, and I'm probably not going to be able to, realistically speaking, I'm not going to be able to get chapter 5 out this year. I just started back school.
Hey, congratulations though, man. That's a big step, right?
So realistically speaking, I'm not going to get chapter 5 out this year, but I do plan to release my one-shot, my extra dimensional side hustle this year before the year is over with, between classes, because it'll just be a short story, one-off. So I think I'll be able to get it done. But next year, I got some big plans for the main series, Space Crush, and what I plan to do. But I hope everybody can enjoy this 4 chapters that I have now, and just be patient with me, because I got more to come.
No, absolutely. I mean, I think that right now would be the perfect segue. Let's go ahead and check out chapter 4 and see exactly what's going on. So what are we seeing on this cover? This is a pretty colorful cover. I'm really liking what's going on right here too. Is this that mutant power you're talking about?
So that's just like the purple energy that so Micho's a mutant and Neko Steel's a cyborg. Micho is pretty much a meta mutant. I don't have too much on his background. I don't have too much revealed. I got a lot about his background, but I don't have too much revealed about his background, like how he became a mutant, because I'm kind of saving the good stuff, what we like to do. But basically, he has the power to store large amounts of energy in his body, and he can release that energy. And when he does, he transforms a little bit. So his hair is usually black, but when he transforms, his hair turns this grayish color, and his eyes turn yellow.
Oh, that's cool.
And he can shoot this purple energy out of his body, and he can also use that energy to affect the physiology of his body. Like he can
Mm-hmm.
use that energy to make himself stronger, faster, and even heal, as you'll see in this chapter. So it's a lot of cool things he can do. And then Neko Steel is part cyborg, and she also can use her hat that she wears is kind of like, I guess you can think about Iron Man and how he uses nanotechnology. Her hands on her hat, that's usually hand sitting on her hat, turns into those steel arms like what she has right there. And she's super strong. She has all type of high-tech features like X-ray vision,
Mm-hmm.
infrared light. Both of her arms can extend really long, so she can attack from long distances. So she's cute and sweet, but she'll kick your butt. You gotta watch out.
So we're starting off on a rather interesting scene. We have some, inner thoughts like, what have I done? What if, I have to relocate my family? Like, what's going on here? What are we seeing happen in these first couple of panels?
So basically at this point, man, Erase is feeling really guilty right now, man. Like basically in the last chapter, he was trying to visit his family after he teamed up with the bounty hunters, and these other two mysterious figures showed up to try and off him, and they threatened him and his family. So Nico and Micho kind of went out of their way to basically give them time to get away.
Mm-hmm.
So as you can see, like right here, they're kind of retreating back to the bounty hunter base because that's the only place he can think of to take them at this time.
Then we get a nice little pivot to a pretty fierce battle going down. So who's this, opponent? This dude looks like a badass.
Yeah, so if you guys go read chapter 3, it left off on a big cliffhanger, and you'll be able to understand what's going on right here. I don't really have too much I can reveal right there, but like if you really want to know what's going on here, you gotta catch the end of that chapter 3, and they'll make you
Okay,
want
I
to run right
gotcha.
back to this chapter. Yeah.
And then we see some of this power, some of these abilities come to light. So is he able to manifest this energy into like a sword, like energy sword
Yeah,
almost?
kind of like a saber, like an energy saber,
Mm-hmm.
basically. So yeah, he can manifest it in many different ways.
Looks like something just got chopped off too.
Hmm.
And he was not too pleased with this. So this dude looks huge compared to him too.
Right. Yeah. So his name is Cleops, and he is a basically a manufactured being. And he has some characteristics of a beetle. So he has a long beetle horn, but his special ability is that when he is badly damaged, his flight instincts pretty much transforms him and makes him pretty much like an unstoppable, just crazy strong being that doesn't really react to pain or anything. So
Oh my
he's a
god,
lot
it's
of
like
trouble.
phase 2 in like a Dark Souls game.
So yeah, like he's having a hard time right now in this battle against them.
And yeah, I'm like I said, these fight sequences look so awesome, man.
Thank you,
What
man.
different techniques did you do, or did you just like study different things? Like, what?
Um, like different type of techniques as far as I study a lot with my drawing, so I practice like just dynamic body positions a lot. Like I
Mm-hmm.
just keep a sketchbook on me, and I'm always trying to practice just dynamic body positions. And I have like different reference books that I use that have different fighting positions, and I'm always trying to make them look good because like one of my favorite things from manga and comics is very well illustrated fight sequences. So like that's like my favorite thing to do in comics. So I work really hard on trying to make them look good
Mm-hmm.
and visualize them.
Speaking of fight sequences, we move on to another interesting fight sequence. So what is going on here? Because it looks like this chapter is just filled with a lot of action.
Yeah, so yeah, this is kind of like pivoting off the last chapter during this confrontation. So some stuff happened in that chapter that set up for a lot of this. So like it was a lot that had to like go into, like I knew this was going to be an action-packed chapter pretty much, because they had these two foes they had to face. We don't know what they're able to do, so I really had to show out like what's to come with these villains that I have in this world. So I really wanted to just show out and be as creative as I could with these fights.
I really like how they're all insect based too.
Yeah, bugs like are very creepy and scary. So like when I like first thought of this, like I was like, it would be really cool to have a main villain where like that's just kind of like their thing. And then like bugs have like, when you like, I really love like animal shows and like things about like animals and insects, and like when you look at that stuff, like bugs have a lot of superpowers that are scary. Like it's like if bugs were life size, they would like rule the planet, because they are like they have so many abilities that if they were life size, they would be a problem.
Well, so, I read something about spiders, and it's like if spiders were life size, they would take the world over in like a year, just because of how aggressive they are, and like how they are with just like eating and stuff. And it makes sense. I mean, spiders are everywhere, right? They're literally everywhere. Like, can you imagine having to fight one off that's even like the size of a cat? Like,
yeah, they literally got a homemade trap. Like they can entrap you in something they can make with their body. Like they don't even have to find materials.
So it looks like we get a flashback, and our protagonist is not looking too hot right now. Things are not faring too well for him, and then we get a pivot back over here. So what's going on here? It looks like this is an interesting interaction as well.
Basically, like Eraser is rushing back to their captain, Dr. Shima, telling him like, you know, I've screwed up and they're in some real big trouble right now, but he don't seem to think so. He thinks they're gonna be all right.
Yeah, he laughs about Vespa, which I thought was rather interesting, because Vespa does seem like somewhat of a formidable opponent.
Yeah, and she is.
So this looks like a really interesting attack too. So when he gets angry, he's able to like belch out a power attack.
Yeah, he don't necessarily have to be angry. It's just something that he can do, that he have like in his arsenal. But yeah, he's pretty much just like, okay, I'm over this at this point, and kind of deciding he need to wrap this up.
I like this exposition as well. You know, how you were, you know, dumping in right here, like briefly, when they were talking about Vespa, and he's talking about Vespa and how they graduated at the top of their class, and then how we see this exposition right here. What's kind of going on for our readers who are watching? And by the way, anyone who is watching, here is a link to chapter 4 to check it out with us. And then after the interview, be sure to, you know, press back a couple times and check out chapter 1, 2, and 3 while you're at it. So, what's going on right here? You know, what's he saying in some of the speech bubble?
He's basically, at this point, he's basically just confused right now, because he thought like Micho should have been off by that last attack. But like I said, Micho's power is very versatile. So like Micho can like heal himself by using his energy to basically like speed up his healing process. And that kind of just threw Cleops off there. He wasn't expecting to fight a foe like that. So he's just very surprised at the strategy he used to pretty much catch him off guard right here.
We get a pretty little ominous note right here that he's similar to his creator too. Yeah. So like that little foreshadowing.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna, I'm leaving that to everybody's imagination right now.
And then we pivot back to these two fighting, and this is a pretty climatic beatdown too. So with this fight sequence, I mean, what type of influences were you drawing from with these two in particular?
So Vespa, when I thought of her, I was like going for like kind of that femme fatale type of thing.
Hmm.
With her, I just wanted this kind of like smooth, kind of cocky, um, um, character that's very menacing. I wanted her to look menacing, and her name comes from it's Latin for like a wasp or hornet. So
Hmm.
like I wanted to give her wings, but I didn't want her to like kind of. I wanted her to have like that femme fatale, so I didn't want her to have like too many like insect like features because she's just like a normal human. She's not like Cleops. She's just like a mutant human. Like whereas Cleops is like a manufactured, like totally artificial, like he was created in a lab type of thing. So yeah, I just wanted somebody menacing and that somebody that could like oppose Neko, that could give her a challenge,
Hmm.
and really like kind of have people kind of on the edge of their seats, like they don't know if Neko was gonna be able to beat her or not, type of feel. So
It looks like she tries to get the upper hand using a little bit of some,
yeah.
something in the syringe. What is? Can you tell us what's in this? Is it like some super strength, a chemical? Like what's going on here?
That's kind of like gonna be something you're gonna learn in the
I
future. But
gotcha.
basically, it's just like implied kind of through the pictures. I didn't want to reveal too much about it, but yeah, she had a little backup arsenal on her that she wanted to try and use for the win that she didn't think she would have to use.
And then I love these little creatures as well too.
Thank you.
So yeah, these guys come in. They pretty much saved the day. So who are these creatures? What are they capable of? Because they look like they aren't your typical creatures.
So all I can tell you is that they belong to the character on the last panel, but pretty much you'll learn more if you read the next chapter that comes out.
Okay.
With that, that's kind of like where the cliffhanger kind of ends in the comic.
No, that is a good. You did a hell of a job because you left me asking who what's going on and who is that. So no, that is awesome, man. That was a awesome cliffhanger. So Silent P, after going through chapter 4, what would you like to say to anyone who's maybe on the fence about reading these chapters? I mean, everything is free, but for anyone who might be on the fence, what would you say to them directly?
I would say give it a shot. It's don't take it for face value. It's a lot more to it than you would probably initially think.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny, it's fun. You can read through them pretty fast. So if you got like a short attention span, I think this is a good comic for people with short attention spans because I got a short attention span. So I'm not gonna create something that you got to deep dive into or have to read a lot or think about. It's good escapism, and especially if you love sci-fi and action, it's a good fun adventure with a good story. It's a really good story and a lot of fun. That's what I'm trying to. I'm trying to entertain you with like just imagination.
Mm-hmm.
And just give you pure fun feeling. Of just reading that shonen manga. Like if you just want to sit down and just kind of escape into a world. That's what I'm trying to do.
Absolutely.
And I feel like it'll suck you in.
Oh, that's awesome. And I mean, you've hinted towards a second project that you were working on this year. This, a little bit of a side hustle, if you will. Give us a breakdown of that. What to expect with that.
So, my extra dimensional side hustle, like I want to do one shots. One shots are short stories that are usually one-offs. They do it a lot in the manga world. Like Akira Toriyama just has a whole book of just one-shot series. So I kind of wanna I kind of want to do that myself. Like I have so many different ideas for different stories that I don't want to just have Space Crush as my only book
Hmm.
that I ever make. So I feel like in between time, I want to do these fun short stories. I'm hoping like maybe 10 pages, no more than 10
That's
pages
not
of
bad
just
at
a
all.
short fun story. So the premise of my extra dimensional side hustle is basically just this average everyday guy named Nebula. He works at a juice bar for his full time job, but he just got a side job where he'll be transporting people to different dimensions.
Oh, that's cool.
So he's going to go home from his job at the juice bar and go home and get into his specialized vehicles that allows him to warp between the multiverse and just transport different people like a Uber basically and get paid to do it. And that's his little side hustle that he gonna do to make him a little extra money.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I love that premise a whole lot. Silent Pete, thank you so much for coming back onto the show, giving us a nice refreshment of what's been going on and what to expect. This has been such an awesome breakdown. Before we end things completely, you know the drill. I always love asking one question in particular, and that's always a question that's aimed towards helping maybe some of the newer indie creators out there. So with that being said, for anyone who's struggling to maybe find a way to continue the story, a way to plan out a story with a little bit of longevity to it, what would be some of your advice, for anyone trying to break, that single shot mentality and get into creating, more than one issue?
Yeah, so I think the last time I said just do it. I still stand by that. Just do it, just get started. If that means just going to Hobby Lobby and buying a sketchbook
Mm-hmm.
and some micron pens and a pencil, just always do it. Some other stuff that I've learned just from this journey now up till now, some newer stuff I learned is figure out what it is you are trying to give to people.
Mm-hmm.
Figure out, is this something I want to profit off of and make money off of? Figure out how you're going to market it, and also figure out your platform. So those are some things that, like, going back, like, that I probably should have asked myself beforehand, but it's fine. I learned it, but like it would be good starting off to kind of know exactly what those things are, because
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll put you many steps ahead.
No, that's
But
some awesome advice,
I'm still
man.
out here learning myself. So if y'all got some advice for me out there, feel free.
Read the comic first, then stop the advice. Check out Space Crush.
Yeah,
Guys,
man,
tomorrow
read
is
Space Crush.
Tuesday, the day before New Comic Book Day. You have a couple days to knock out all 4 chapters, 100% free. And yeah, Silent P is an awesome writer. I appreciate you coming on once again.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
We'll have to get you back on for the one shot, in chapter 5 next year.
Oh, yeah,
whenever
man,
whenever you start getting that finished up. But that being said, Silent P, thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate that piece of advice. That was awesome as always. Everyone watching, I hope you have a fantastic Sunday night. Is it Sunday? No, it's Monday.
It's
Monday night. I forgot today was Labor Day. The kids didn't have school, so it felt like a Sunday. Yeah, it felt like a Sunday. So have a fantastic Monday night, but most importantly, keep it geekly.